Every summer we watch animals run from wildfires, and we assume the worst. Almost all of them make it out. Researchers have tracked animals through wildfires more than 30 times now, and in 2/3 of those studies, not a single animal died in the fire. The fire is mostly not what kills them. In 2023, Canada burned through 17 million hectares of forest, which is more than double any fire season it had ever recorded.
Nova Scotia is under a state of emergency with thousands of acres burning.
But that forest isn't empty. Every spring, as many as 3 billion birds fly north to nest in it, which makes the boreal the nursery for about 1/3 of all the birds in North America. And the fires are now arriving right in the middle of nesting season.
They brought food to them and the trees where they perched.
So what actually happens when the fire reaches them? Mostly they leave, and they leave earlier than you would think. Birds go first, because they can see it coming from further away than anything else. Large mammals walk out ahead of the front, and it looks nothing like the stampede you are picturing. They just start moving steadily, hours before it gets there. These forests have burned for as long as they have existed, and just about everything living in them has some way of getting through it.
We have documented over 300 other species of organisms that live and spend time in that gopher tortoise burrow.
When you add all of those studies up, fire kills about 3% of the animals it passes over. Which is not nothing, and in the most severe fires, it climbs to about 7. But for the very biggest fires, the ones we are getting every summer now, nobody has the data at all. The animals that do die in the flames are the ones that cannot outrun them. The slow, the old, and the young that are still in the nest, weeks away from being able to fly. So, if the fire isn't what kills them, what does? It's the weeks afterwards. There is no food, no water, and no cover, and nothing left to hide behind, while everything that eats you is out looking too. But fire has always done that. These forests have been burning for 10,000 years, and the animals are still here. So something else must have changed.
For more of the year, they can last longer, and they're burning hotter and burning at higher severity, affecting more of the landscape.
This is what a fire used to leave behind. Not a clean sweep, but a patchwork. Burned ground wrapped around islands that never caught at all. Ecologists call them refugia, and just about every animal that has ever come back to a burned forest came out of one. A megafire doesn't leave them. It burns hotter, and it burns everything. So what you get afterwards is the same dead ground in every direction for 40 kilometers. And here is how we know that is the problem. There is a bird called the black-backed woodpecker that actually needs burned forest. It turns up within a year of a fire to eat the beetle larvae in the dead trees.
This black-backed woodpecker flew down and landed on the tree in front of me and was feasting on beetles that liked the fire-killed trees.
So when the one bird that cannot live without fire can no longer use the fire we are making. The problem was never fire. Boreal caribou live on lichen through the winter. And after a severe burn, that lichen takes somewhere between 40 and 70 years to come back far enough to feed a herd. A caribou doesn't live 70 years, and neither does a herd with nowhere to spend the winter. And in the worst burned places, the forest isn't coming back as forest at all. Spruce that burns twice in quick succession comes back as shrub and grass instead.
And then seedlings are trying to reestablish in an environment that's several degrees warmer and much drier than it was when the last fire happened.
And none of it stops at the edge of the trees. Weeks after the fire is out, the first heavy rain hits the burn scar and washes all of that ash into the river. where it strips the oxygen out of the water and tears at the fish's gills. In some headwater streams, the debris flows have wiped out the trout entirely.
In case there's additional events throughout the winter.
While these events are destructive and devastating, the danger doesn't end when the flames are extinguished.
By the time any of this happens, the fire is a month old, and it isn't news anymore. Nobody is counting. The animals know how to survive a fire. They have known for 10,000 years. What they cannot survive is a fire with no edges.
But the biggest thing is that fires create what we call like heterogeneity, the opposite of homogeneity.
Cultural burning. Prescribed fire, thinning the fuel before the summer that sets all of it off at once. All of it is doing the same thing. It puts the edges back, not to stop the fire, but to make it survivable again.
In the Hunter region that are involved in the course.